Now, to honor America, please join in the singing of our national anthem. Representing the three-time Stanley Cup champion New Jersey Devils, Arlette.
I feel like I'm at a game. Oh my gosh. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Sunday. This is the Let's Go Devils podcast, season 5, episode 35, titled The Devils Goaltending Answer? Question mark. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live,
That's a
Twitter
million-dollar
Live, and
question.
Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. I'm your host, Sam Wu, here with Beer Baron, Shorts Guy, and Scotty of SiriusXM Liquid Metal.
Full house.
The Big Four
Yeah.
on hand.
Back
I like
together.
Stanley
More
Cup
horsemen
Finals
and a cat.
going on. Game 6. I also want to give a shout out to Andrew Bunin, who is at the game.
All-Star Andy.
Yep, the owner of Sandbar Sports Grill in Cocoa Beach, Florida. Huge New Jersey Devils fan. Wearing a Devils jersey to the game and making his mark.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good for Andrew. He's been sending us some pics. Getting to who was it? McNabb he sent us earlier. A couple others. He Winston.
McNabb.
Yeah, I would think so.
He actually sent a picture with Messier as well. Because I guess
Kevin
ESPN.
Weeks.
Yeah,
Kevin Weeks.
Kevin
Kevin Weeks
Weeks
too.
picture.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, Weeksy. That's
Kevin
right.
Weeks.
Yeah. Good for Andrew.
Yeah.
Our good friend and buddy. Hey, anyone out there heading out to any of those games, feel free to send us some pics so we can talk about them. Lightning.
Classy
Are they into this?
pics.
I think they're classy.
One nothing.
Well,
We don't need to see any, of those picks.
we can, we just maybe won't post them, but you can.
Those are for the
you can
paid
feel free to have some
subscribers.
fun. That's
Those are for the paid subscribers.
That's the
Let's Go
Patreon
Devils
channel that
podcast,
doesn't
OnlyFans.
our OnlyFans channel.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Where we do the podcast without shirts on.
yeah.
I don't know
You
anyone that
can
would
see
want to see
fat
that.
hockey dudes talking about hockey. Yeah.
I might have to pop.
Hey,
I
I
might
would
have to
consider
pop my
myself.
tarp off.
Wait a minute. I would consider myself
All
to
right.
be relatively in shape, so I'm not going to go
Three-
with that fat hockey guy.
All right, three
Yeah,
three
and I'm
guys,
getting there.
one
I'm
in
getting
shape.
there.
Yeah.
Even though round is a shape, it's not the shape I plan to be in.
It's very warm. It's very warm in this room. This tarp might get popped off at some point, so we might have to see. But anyways,
Yeah.
Here we go. The Devils' goaltending answer. And the answer is
Shorts guy.
Yeah, there
Yep.
you go.
I think you
Shorts
should
guy.
send in
That's
some
the
tape.
answer.
You
I
should
think I'm
send
gonna
in
have to
some
send in
tape,
some
dude.
tape. Because at this point,
If not to New
it's
Jersey,
anybody's.
definitely Edmonton.
Wow, I think Edmonton's even more wide open than our situation. You know,
Definitely Edmonton. Go for a chance for the cup, buddy.
Yeah, right. Edmonton had a really, their defense is suspect as well. So it's not just Mike Smith, but Mike Smith let up some of the most Mike Smith goals that ever were to Mike Smith.
Yes,
during the playoffs.
That's great. That's great.
That is very true.
He just Mike Smith himself
Very true.
out there.
Oh
Yeah.
man, he Mike
That's
Smith
like
himself quite a bit.
He just pulled a Munson.
Two guys. I still can't get over that. Two guys, and it was only they didn't even make it, but two guys on one team with 30 plus points in the playoffs, and they get eliminated.
Yeah.
Whew.
I mean,
Man.
they did make it
shows
to
the
the
importance of
Western
goaltending.
Conference Finals, so.
That's great.
And then they got walked right out of the building. They got walked right out of the building. Right, come on in. Now get out.
Yeah.
You know what?
Transfer.
Actually, you know what? Colorado's run through the Western Conference was like that one Simpsons episode where it was potential dates or whatever, and where they I just remember Mo being walked across the stage, no one wanted him, and he walked right to the reject pile.
He just walked right off. Yeah. That's a great moment.
That was pretty much the Western Conference playoff run for Colorado. Anyone that came in just walked right on it.
Which
back out.
It makes the Tampa Bay a lot more impressive because like you look at what they did in the Western Conference. I mean, Tampa Bay holding their own as two-time defending Stanley Cup champions. I mean, they're the champs for a reason. It starts with their coaching. Vasilevsky's like basically done everything he can to steal the series away. But listen, man,
he doesn't get rattled easy.
No, and you said it right there. Like it starts with goaltending. So, do the Devils go after somebody that's already signed like a Hellebuck and try to make a blockbuster trade, or do they try to take their chances on one of these free agent goaltenders that are coming through?
Yeah, but there's not many free agent goaltenders that are coming about.
Well,
if
Kemper
I'm not mistaken this
will
year.
be.
So, yeah, but Kemper's 32.
Kemper and
Kemper's
Colorado.
32 right now. He's
and then Campbell. Those are your two best, basically, free agent goaltenders out there.
Which, as far as I'm concerned, that's really not. I mean, Kemper's good, but he's not. Kemper's good on a really good team. He's good on a really good team, and he may win the cup being a good goalie on a really good team. I think Kemper in our net would.
Sounds like Edmonton just signed him up.
Yeah, well, Kemper's someone that Edmonton I could see definitely pursue,
and probably overpay.
And I would say that Jack Campbell is relatively the same because Jack Campbell during was it March? Let's say February, March-ish, went through just a slide where he couldn't find his game. He couldn't couldn't find his way out of a paper bag. So
he did come out of that though. He did come out of it. He did come out of it. His final numbers on the season were pretty good though in the end.
But look at the team he had playing in front of his, very very much like Kemper, a very strong team with a lot of assets, with a lot of high powered scoring. They just ran into the juggernaut that was Tampa. But they took Tampa to 7 games though. But I just feel like it's going to have to be a trade in order for us to bring in that stalwart goaltender. Because the two big free agents are just not. I mean, technically, Mike Smith might be a free agent if he might retire, but we're not going to go down that road. But out of those two, I think Kemper's too old, and Campbell would, in my eyes, be better than Kemper. But I still don't know if Campbell is good enough for the team that we have. So we
Campbell's
need a really
final
solid.
numbers were 31, 9, and 6 with a 914 save percentage.
With a really good team in front of them, though.
Yeah, you make a great point
that's the
about
thing.
that because you could have a game where you're letting up 3-4 goals, but when you have,
The likes of both
very-
of those offenses.
They'll
score you
exactly.
six. They'll score
They'll
you
score you 6, and you can win like a 6. I would, it'd be an interesting stat is to go into both of their records and see how many games did they win 6-4, or where they were letting up a decent amount of goals. So
Yeah, but the thing was too is Devils didn't have that big an issue scoring goals. That wasn't our problem last year. We put the puck in the net. We did. Our problem was the other team just like doubled and tripled it at times because our goaltending was so incredibly bad. Do they lock up Damon Severson? Do you have this young defense coming? It might be something to look into as something that can, be a possibility. Now, is Campbell a long-term solution? Is that the guy you want to lock up for 6 or 7 years? Or, is this someone that you're looking at more like a 2-3 year contract that, he's probably going to be looking for something a little bit longer. I
old is
don't,
Campbell? Do you have his age in front of you or no?
I believe
28.
he is in his late 20s. I think he's 28 or 29.
So if he's 28 going into next season, he's going to be the majority of next season at 28. I would say 3 to 4 year contract max. I really wouldn't want to sign anything beyond that.
and hopefully by then, if you have Nico Dawes in the wings, kind of waiting around, hopefully Nico Dawes can take over the mantle when he's ready to move on. Do you know what I mean? Like, so you would give Dawes more time to develop properly. And then you just have to get rid of
Campbell's 28. Campbell's 28.
Bernier's.
Yes.
You have to get Bernier's contract off the books. Well, he'll be on LITR, so
Yeah.
he that
And that's
doesn't
it.
count
It's
against
2-year
the cap.
deal. Yeah, he'll be
so
done
he'll
anyway.
be done.
So
And then Matt Black isn't really making that much either, so just kind of get rid of that. But I don't know, man. I have a question, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. So
No, Jack
I'm not really
Campbell's
sure how to
Jack
answer
Campbell's
this.
30.
Is he 30?
Jack Campbell was
I thought he
born
28.
92. He was born 92, so he would be 29. He's going to be he's 30 now. So yeah, Campbell's too old as far as what we need. If we sign Campbell, he's 2 years younger than Kemper. You sign him to 2 years, and then you hope Nico Dawes takes over after that, or someone is waiting in the wings to take over after that. Again, Jack Campbell, born 92, so he's 30.
I think I'm looking at an old thing here. Yep.
Yeah, you might be. Yeah, so if he's 30, and you do, let's say hypothetically, we bring in Jack Campbell, he's a short-term solution. I say you only pay him for 2 years. You don't pay him any more than that. If he's the guy you want to bring in. Other than that,
agreed. Yeah, you're right. He is. I was looking at an old. Yeah, I was looking at an old article here. He is 30.
Yeah,
Will turn 31 during the season next year. Yeah.
Yeah, and here we are calling 30 old, and Beer Baron just hit 40. I'm about to hit 40. Scotty, I have actually.
I've already passed that milestone.
Yeah,
I just don't like to talk about it very much. Yeah.
Scotty's closer to 50 than he is to 40. We'll put it that way.
Whoa!
I'm kidding.
Wow,
it's not true. It's not true. Not true.
I'm only 2 years older than you, bud. All right, so don't start marking up that trait because that would mean you're not far behind. All right,
Scotty,
I
can't believe you call this guy a friend. I can't believe you call him a friend. Holy hell!
I question it at times myself. Jeez.
Well,
I'm sure you do.
Closer to 50.
They got pills for that. You got to start questioning things. At your age, your advanced age.
Oh my gosh!
I got my glasses on today.
How disappointed would you be if they rolled back the same tandem? Well, obviously you can't with Bernier because he's hurt, but if they bring back Dawes and Blackwood as their 1A, 1B, is that a solution that you don't want to see, or is that a solution that is that you could live with?
You can't. By the way, hello to everybody on Facebook Live, Twitter Live, YouTube Live. Give us your ideas as well. If you think the Devils should be trading for someone, who should they be trading for? or if they should sign someone, or if they should come back with a tandem. Benji says to get Bobrovsky. David Holiday is going with
at 10. No, thank you, Bobrovsky.
Well, he
at
also
10 million
wants
a year.
Benji also wants John Cooper to be our assistant coach after this season as well. So it might be he might be shooting the moon on some of these requests over here. So we're just gonna roll with it. But Benji, Mike Rossi, Michael Hay, Kyle, Stacy, Ramona. See a bunch of people up there on the Facebook Live. Clyde, Douglas,
the crew.
Are you open to taking on Bobrovsky if Florida retains salary?
They got to retain about half of that, but
yeah,
$10
but
million
there's
a
no
year.
way that Florida's. Yeah, but there's
David
no way
Chimes, Linus Olmark. I know Mr. Shorts guy was just talking about him in our group chat as well.
Sammy was.
Oh, that was Sam.
Yeah, that was Sammy. So Olmark
What's up, Dylan?
Olmark is 29 along with Hellebuck. So again, you're looking at a max 3-year deal for him as far as I'm concerned. And Bobrovsky, for as good as he is, he was born 88. He's even older. So
right.
Who's
where's Wallstead? Where's Wallstead at? Spencer Knight. You're thinking of Spencer Knight.
Spencer Knight, yes.
So yeah, it'd be cool to go after Spencer Knight, but where's Wallstead at? Is he in Minnesota, or is that? I can't remember where the hell that kid is. And then there's that young Russian who's in Nashville.
Oh, so yeah,
Askarov, who
I don't know if you would have to probably wrangle. Well, I don't know. See, that wouldn't be a bad thing to look at because generally over the last couple of years, Nashville's got their goaltending picks correct.
That's what I'm saying.
They're pretty solid on goaltending. Askarov played very well in the World Juniors when I last saw him play. Very kind of
Casey DeSmith, Pens have cap.
Very kind of spazzy the way he plays, but he's a very aggressive goaltender. So our defense would have to get used to playing with a very aggressive goaltender, if I remember Askarov correctly. But if we can wrangle him away, that would be great. But again, I think if we're gonna be trading for any of these goaltenders, we have to be ready to say goodbye to someone.
Yeah, and that's a part of doing business, and that part is the terrible part. And I wonder, and I don't want to put it out there because our good friend over at the Brat Pack, I don't want to make him upset, but could Jesper Bratt not having a contract right now be in lieu of the fact that he might be a part of a package to go somewhere else to get goaltending? And as much as you don't want to see that happen, because then you're taking from the cupboard. What's that? You're robbing Peter to pay Paul, or whatever that phrase is. Basically, you're not helping the team. You're getting good goaltending, but you're also taking one of your strengths away.
Peter and who's Paul? I don't understand.
I don't know. A couple. I think they're the Beatles or something like that. A couple of them. You rob Peter.
It's like Goodfellas. This is Petey. This is Paulie. This is little Petey. Here's Paulie. Here's my sons. This is Petey. Paulie.
This is
they're all married to a girl named Marie.
Marie. But yeah, dude.
We'll go get the papers. Get the papers.
Johnny 2 times says everything twice. So I think if you're going to go after one of these goaltenders, you're going to have to give up something. There's people that are like, I don't want to give up the second overall pick. Okay, I get it. Nobody wants to give up a high pick, but you can use that high pick to get somebody that's a proven commodity, and that's what you really need, right? You could draft Cooley, who honestly I think that's my pick for the who I want the Devils to draft if they're going to do it. I know people think that's crazy because they're like, Slavkovsky is a giant and he could be a power forward and blah blah blah, but something about Cooley, man. There's just something about that kid that I feel he's going to be like the next Jack Hughes. He's going to be like electric. And have like a 1-2 punch, and then you have that steadying force of Nico in between that. Anyways, we'll talk more about that when we get closer to the draft. But you're going to have to move one of these picks, and if you have to move that second overall pick, you have to move it to get it established. You don't know if any of these kids are going to pan out. That's kind of like the gamble of it. But if you can go after and get something, that's what you got to do. You want to win now. You don't want to be up in the top of the draft anymore. So if it means giving away your favorite player or a hot commodity like the second overall pick, I'm sorry, you got to do it.
Listen, I like to see them take the pick because it's so high. But if you can get an established goaltender who can be, sort of a cornerstone for the next 5-6 years, kind of deal, then I think you absolutely make that deal 100%. Other than that, I'm big on what's his name, the kid from the Czech Republic, how do you say his name?
Slavkovsky. I'm probably butchering it too. Sure.
Sloppy. Let's call him Sloppy. But I do hear a lot. I know Swampy Samsonite. I know Sam Wu has been big on Cooley. You sounded as well. There's a lot of people out there that are talking good things about this kid. Either way, there's some good. Slovakia. I'm sorry, he's from Slovakia. Either way, I think there are some really good draft picks there that can be that won't like linger in the minors for too long. They're going to make an NHL impact sooner, and that's of course the luck of drawing second there. But if we can get that established goaltender for it, I think you 100% make that deal. Make that deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well.
And I know a lot of people don't want to trade a Jesper Bratt, and I don't want to either. But if it's, man, it's got to be really good. You got to be really good to include him on that package.
It's got to be really good. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I wouldn't put Jesper in there in with the number 2 pick. I wouldn't. I would try to deal some other people instead, and keep Jesper obviously on the team. It's our leading point getter.
And the only problem is if you're going to be trading for a starting goaltender, first of all, you have to find a team stupid enough to give up a starting goaltender. So it's got to be a team that's probably in some kind of cap troubles that have to get rid of a starting goaltender, a solid starting goaltender. And two, you may have to package Bratt with a second-round pick for a team that's going to be wanting to give up that type of caliber of player. So it may have to be a second Bratt package in order to get that goaltender. But I, to be honest, I don't know what team is dumb enough to do that. I was just looking around, and this is probably a really dumb hypothetical, but I'm going to throw it out there.
All right.
Up for where to go? I was just looking. By the way, Askarov just came into the AHL last year, so he has not yet played much North American hockey, so he's not really solidly established. So, we have 2 situations locally that we could potentially look at. We could potentially, and again, I know I was harping around on age, but Varlamov could potentially be a goaltender you can bring in for a year or 2 because he is a UFA. He's really old, but you can bring him in for a year. The Islanders may be up for moving Varlamov due to the fact that they've got Sorokin and Corey Snyder has come back to at least be a serviceable backup, which looked like the end of the season. And that I got to credit Chico Resch for pointing that one out, that potential trade. And I don't know how much this is like a way out there hypothetical. Georgiev of the Rangers is an RFA.
Oh yeah.
Do you potentially, and I know he's not a what's his name, Shajurkin, but do you maybe tender an offer, and if it doesn't get accepted, you wind up just screwing the Rangers anyway? And if you have to take it,
but what do you have to give up if you tender him an offer and he accepts it? What do we have to give up? That's the only thing. I do not want to give them
next year's first round pick or something like that. Ugh. I think next year's first round pick.
God, if we get and then if we sucked, imagine that we sucked. He comes in and sucks, and then we're like, oh, cool. Now you get the first overall pick, and you get a.
That's why I said it was a weird. That's why I said it was a really wild hypothetical.
Yeah,
that one I'm not too into, just because old Georgie there too. His numbers at the end of the year aren't
not very good.
Fantastic.
I know.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, Shesterkin obviously carried that team to the point where they got into the playoffs. And I mean,
More
Georgie, he had like a couple good spells there, but overall, he's a backup.
More so, I was saying that because I would love to see us tender an offer and not accept it, but the Rangers have to pay him a shit ton of money. I'm sorry about that, Sammy. A lot of money. Just to yeah. Sorry, Sammy, you're gonna have to edit that one out. I just pulled a Grant Marshall on the podcast.
Can we put like that parental advisory sticker, like they used to have on the CDs back in the day?
It's the OnlyFans. It's the OnlyFans account when we start really.
Oh yeah, that's on the OnlyFans account.
That's when we.
Let's Go Devils podcast OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. Pop the tarps off. Start screaming, cursing after hours to red light district.
Oh man,
that's what it should be called. Light the red light district. What about Jesper Wallstedt? I was bringing up his name before. He was 20th overall pick in the 2021 draft. He's in the Minnesota Wild program over there. So I think if you're going to trade for a goaltender, you don't want to trade with somebody that's got too many miles on it. You said it right. Like nobody in their right mind is going to be like, oh, who do you want? Oh yeah, you want Vasilevsky? Sure, no problem. Just give us a number 2 overall pick and you can have him. Like, it's not going to be that easy. But if you get you could try to pry away a Spencer Knight or a Wallstedt or one of these Askarov or one of these younger goaltenders from a team because it's still yet a proven commodity where they're, obviously that once again, it's not an easy trade. You're going to have to give up a lot to get somebody like that, to come back and return. And you might only get that. Like some people, I saw a trade offer. It was like the number 2 pick, and then fill in the blank with like 4 other players for Fiala and Wallstedt from Minnesota. I was like, listen, Billy Guerin might love the fact that he won a cup with the Devils, but I don't think he has an affinity for the Devils. So I don't think he's going to go out of his way to make that trade happen. So. Yeah. I don't know, man. The next couple of weeks are going to be super interesting, but they have a lot of things that they need to fill. Goaltending is a huge issue, and it's hopefully going to be resolved this offseason. But I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but I'm not a fan of like the one or 2 year gap fill-ins unless you know that Nico Dawes is the real deal, and he's like, all right, this kid's going to take over. So that's I don't know the way I look at it.
It's tough. It's a hard question to answer, and there's no one that. One, the UFA market is weak for goaltenders, and like we've been talking about. 2, it's what team is going to be dumb enough to give up a starting goaltender in order to. That's pretty much the key to your team is your starting goaltender. So. I don't know. It's got to be a team in trouble. It's going to be a hard sell, or it's going to be a hard trade to make, and we're going to have to see what the Devils do. We're going to have to do something. Would it shock me if we go into camp in September with the same duo as last year? No, it wouldn't shock me. Would it be thrilling to me? No, but we can't say that Blackwood had the healthiest of seasons last year either. So we don't really know exactly what Blackwood would have been able to accomplish had he been healthy and, with all the, stuff with his heel and then the potential vaccination status and the COVID. I would say the last season was not a shining season for Blackwood by any means because we've seen him play very well. So it wouldn't shock me if the Devils said, all right, well, listen, here's your last try. Here's your last chance. Because especially with the market being so weak and any potential starting goaltender commanding a high price, it wouldn't shock me to go with
Blackwood
that if we had that duo again.
I have this sense that Blackwood has kind of rubbed some of the teammates the wrong way. Just, reading some of the reports and stuff like that. I don't know. I could be mistaken, but remember when PK you know, had his little thing, and he made his little comment, and he deleted it afterwards and everything like that. I don't know how well that sits with the team and everything else. So, you know, we'll see. Maybe they got over it. You know, maybe they talked it all out. I don't know.
It's possible. It's possible. You know, it's just I don't want to say I don't have a lot of hope, but I don't really see a solution. There is no easy solution, and that's the thing. I don't see a solution that's out there right now, an easy one. You know, we could get.
There's no easy way out.
We could be surprised. We could be surprised
for you.
But with the track record that the Devils have had with goaltenders over the last 3 years, I'm not going to hold my breath on us bring someone in.
Pretty awful.
Yes.
Midway through the second period, the Avalanche have a 2-1 lead over the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Ooh.
Could this be the night where the Avalanche hoist a cup?
Wow.
You know, I was really very happy that they did not win the other day because we would have had to have shared that date. We would have had to have shared that date with them as winning a cup on the 24th of June. I didn't want to do that.
I want a Game 7 here. I want a Game 7 in this series. I hope it does. Right, Sam Wu?
We might.
Don't you want a Game 7?
Yeah, I want to see the season extended. Just one more game. Go all the way to Game 7. But getting back to the goaltending situation, if it's not there, don't make a trade. Don't make a move. If it's not there, don't mortgage the future on this one because the market is terrible. The timing for the Devils with goaltending is terrible. And the other thing too is there are other issues that you need to address other than goaltending, like shorthanded chances. You know, they got rid of Mark Recchi. You know, so will the new coach help improve on that? I don't care if Shesterkin was back season. You can't expect your goaltender to make about 100 to 150 saves of shorthanded chances.
Odd man rushes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just or you know, leaving the opposing forwards, you know, in front of the crease while being played out of position. Now, they did improve upon that last season, but just towards the, you know, when they were slumping, it was just very sloppy. Very sloppy. And you know what? Before you get a good goaltender back there, you got to play some defense. That's what I say. And with that draft pick, you know, I'm all in on Logan Cooley, but I'm all in them using that draft pick if it's not Logan Cooley. You know, unless somebody gives a ridiculous offer, like if Edmonton suddenly goes bankrupt and they got to get rid of McDavid and, you know, Mike Smith.
Connor McDevil, here we go!
Yeah. Connor McDevil? Did you say Connor McDevil?
Yeah.
That would work.
Or did I just coin that right now? And then watch, it's going to get stolen like Sharon Golvich did. Anyways,
that's what we were saying that year that we thought we might win the draft lottery. You know, Connor McDevil would work out pretty nicely. Connor McDavid, Connor McDevil. There you go.
Yeah, unfortunately, Corey Snyder had to play lights out on a bad team.
Yeah. Should
have never made that trade. I'm telling you.
Thanks for another one.
We didn't need your stellar goaltending back then. We could have used it in 2018 and 2019.
Yeah. But by the way, I know there's an article that was out with the head of staff, the chief scouting staff for the Devils, Mark Dennehy. You know, and it's an interesting thing. You know, reading what he says. You know, they
Brian Dennehy's brother.
Yeah, that's what I said. Samu had no idea who I was talking about when I mentioned that earlier.
Big Tom? You don't know who Big Tom is? Come on.
Big Tom Callahan.
I could get a good look at a T-bone steak if I stick my head up. No, I'll stop.
You don't want to give Sam more work to do.
Yeah.
He already has to edit what I said.
We should have a, you know, unfiltered
version of the
unedited
show one day.
Actually, all of our shows are really unedited. We keep it clean
They
usually.
are. We
Mhm.
99.9% of the time it's clean.
Yeah.
Unless Grant Marshall comes on, and then it's all hell breaks loose, and we love it. We love having him on because we're like, oh yeah, we could talk like adults for a change, and then you forget, like, you know,
Didn't
we don't
Cam
want children
Jansen
listening.
drop
Cam
a
Jansen
couple?
did, yeah.
Yeah.
PL3
Yeah,
I
did.
think I did. I think I did accidentally a couple weeks ago too, didn't I?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
something
dropped a
like
hard
that.
F-bomb, I think, or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
I think all of us except for Sam has slipped at least once, but maybe
No,
Sam
I
has
slipped
rules
a
and
couple
restrictions.
No.
I've slipped a couple times.
When Sam was pulling out the stills and doing the old NFZ or lack of NFZ, Sam slipped a couple times during the season.
Oh, yeah.
That's okay.
But you know what you should do is if you're gonna overdub it or anything like that, you should do the like yippee ki yay, Mr. Falcon. Well, you know what I mean? So do like a terrible overdub.
By
there
the
was
way,
like
Dennehy has said that the
Oh,
Devils
sorry.
have scouted and really have their selection. You know who they think that they would take in the draft. I mean, they're gonna have to be blown away, to make a trade on this draft pick. I think they're all steam ahead there to choose one of these players.
So you're saying that Joey Anderson, 1-for-1, the number 2, and Joey Anderson can't get it done?
No,
That's a word from Habs from the old Canadians. They said that
Slavkovsky,
Joey Anderson.
Shane Wright, Simon Nemec, and then Logan Cooley. Your top 4 players in the draft by
all 4 of them.
just about by every scout out there. Has these 4 gentlemen ranked 1, 2, 3, 4. The order may vary here and there, but I think just about every single place out there has these 4 as the top players. And one thing Dennehy says here, in the end, we're going to end up getting a good player picking second overall, no matter what.
And that's true.
But man, there's been plenty of busts before, but the quality at 1 and 2, and even 3 at times is definitely a lot better.
Definitely better.
Probably, yeah.
And
just the way it is.
And Nemec, or however you say his name, is
Nemec or Nemec? I think it's Nemec.
Nemec.
Old Simon.
I would be very happy with that pick too. I think like any of those 4, if Shane Wright, my thing is I feel like if the Habs go Cooley number 1, which Sam I think was pointing out that Martin St. Louis was a big fan of
St.
Cooley. If they pick Cooley number 1, I think the Devils
I think Slavkovsky is then on our.
You don't think they'd go Shane Wright number 2?
No,
really.
I don't.
I don't know. I don't think any of them would surprise me. I don't think any of them.
No, I think they're all good players, but I don't know. Just the idea we need wingers. We need a big power winger, and this kid had a hell of a what was it, the Olympic or the World tournament there?
The Olympics and the Worlds. He showed up in the Olympics big time. And that's, we've talked before about other players. Oh, they're playing against men and stuff like that. I never really bought that sort of thing, but from transitioning from, the under 18 game and then, right into that Olympic, that was a pretty big seamless step there. I mean, he really went out there and performed. And some guys, that's just how they are. When they get put on the big stage and under the bright lights, they just turn it on for some reason, and they just go. And that seemed to be what happened with him there. Now, it's only a small sampling, but his stock has shot up tremendously, and he is a big boy, too, and he's only going to get bigger. So that size, that speed, that shot, I mean, it's definitely attractive. Considering we already have, Hughes and Nico and Dawson Mercer down the middle there. Shane Wright is a good player as well. I mean, never hurts to have as many centers. Have a lot of centers too. Yeah. So,
the Devils.
I'm just go ahead.
Whoever's the top available player at the time. If we keep the second overall pick, that's who you got to go with.
Yeah. Best
I'm
on
not
the board.
getting.
Best on the board.
I'm not getting my heart set on anything because I think this could be potentially so wide open to what the Devils might do, depending on who is picked one and what goes on with that and potential trades. I mean, we don't know what these we don't know anything about the phone calls that have been coming in and will come in between now and then. You know, it wouldn't shock me if the Devils. It would not shock me between when the Canadians pick whoever they're going to pick, when the Devils do whatever they're going to do. I could see them potentially having one plan and have something else come across the board and a phone call made and then completely doing something else. So I'm not getting my heart set on anything or anyone. I'm just going to look at I'm going to go into this draft like, all right, let's see what they wind up doing. And the one thing I do, and I've said this before, the one thing I do trust is Devils picking the Devils drafting. I do trust them. For the most part, they've got it correct. Much better than the goaltending situation.
It would be interesting if they drafted defense, Nemec, because think about the pairings in 3 to 4 years from now. You would have Nemec, Hughes, possibly Mohamedulin, Dougie Hamilton. We don't know if Graves will be here. Severson may be here. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But you look at that top six and you add in Riley Walsh, and all those. It would be an interesting dynamic where the first two pairings could be like Norris Trophy type defense.
Yeah.
And Ty Smith, he's going to be. It's going to be a big season for him to see where he really fits in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
But
Ty played his way out of a definite spot. Yeah, last season. You cannot. I don't know. In my mind, you cannot just pencil him in. You can say maybe sophomore slump, but he's got to come back and play hard.
He's got
next season.
Big
Sam,
time.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, I don't know. Sam could probably tell you. I think there was maybe about like 30 times this past season when we were doing Devils After Dark that a piece of my soul died every time that Ty Smith did a drop pass to nobody in our own zone and like would just
yeah.
I couldn't take.
He was so bad last season that every time Jack Hughes would score or do something good, I'm like, all right, at least he's cooking. At least he's
making mistakes for Jack.
Yeah. I look at Jack's weight going up. I'm like, okay, at least
official grill master for Jack Hughes.
The one thing though to kind of circle back on the whole goaltending situation, I think it was Shorts guy that said it before. Is like Blackwood's injury last year, his heel injury, and what happened to him. It would be really sad to see him go and then pick up somewhere else and then just fulfill the potential that everybody thought he had. You remember at one point Canada had him penciled in as one of their goaltenders for the Olympics. So it's not like and that's not just like the local organization or the local media taking a look at him. That was, Team Canada. So he was raising eyebrows in the right way and then just everything kind of fell apart. Now, could he bounce back and have like a decent year? And I mentioned this before. If the Devils don't make a move, I asked you guys, like, how would you feel about it? And the more I think about it, I'm like, I don't know if I'd be mad. But I'll tell you what, after the first 2 months, you'll be able to you'll find out which way you feel about it. Because after the first 2 months of the season, if he is playing like he did last year, then it will be a colossal disappointment. But if he regains form and he starts playing like he was and he starts showing that, like, when we had the whole like who's better, Blackwood or Carter Hart conversation.
I was just thinking that. That just came to my mind about how we were looking at the Carter Hart Blackwood duo being
where's both of them now?
Yeah, well.
Give me the wah, wah, wah.
Look, if Blackwood sucks next season, Devils fans would get what they want. Ruff would be fired at some point or done by the end of the year. Blackwood's gone, and then what will the goalie market look like then? That's why I went on that rant about 2025. You know, it may take that long before we get there.
But we can't just keep doing this. Like this is the problem. The team losing the way it's losing, and I wish, and we've said this ad nauseum, where the owners have to like take notice of this. The team losing like they're losing. You're losing the town of Newark. Somebody was saying like, oh, in our group text, like or somebody sent a post that was like the Devils never had support like this, or maybe I saw this somewhere. I don't know. Tampa Bay really embraces the Lightning, and you know the whole area around the stadium is like all about the Tampa Bay Lightning. And it's like, yeah, winning back-to-back Stanley Cups and being a contender year in and year out is going to do that. In the 2012, I think Sam, you said this, in the 2012 run, that section in Newark was amazing. It was so much fun to go to a game. Every bar was hopping. Everything was so much fun. And then when you start losing, nobody wants to do it. Bartenders don't want to wear shirts of the team that sucks. Like, they're not going to get people in the bars, so why do they care to wear the shirt? If you want to bring back that culture, you bring back like a winning mentality. And I mean, you can't just recycle this like, oh, Blackwood sucks, we're going to fire Ruff and we're going to get this. And it's like, no, then we're just where we're at the bottom still. Like, it's time to move forward.
Well, yeah, I mean, we all know that, but I got news for you. It's not going to happen. That's my opinion, though. I just don't think it's going to happen. This ownership group, there's no accountability. They bought the team for a reason that had nothing to do with winning the Stanley Cup. I can tell you that that for me, that's been the problem. Now, that does not discredit Tom Fitzgerald, the scouting, and all that. It's just I just wish there was a deadline to all this. I wish David Blitzer, when he did his interview, instead of saying be patient, he said, okay, if it's not done by here, we're going to make some big changes. I want that letter that season ticket holders got, the Rangers fans got, when they were cleaning.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to have something. But instead, we get false promises, all that kind of stuff. And I may sound negative, but I'm just telling the truth here. You know, but the hope is there will be a breakthrough. I just don't see it happening. That's why I want them to keep on drafting, because by the time they figure it out, this team will be so stacked with young talent, they could, you know, it could be a dynasty in the making. But this is a 10-year tank.
Yeah.
There are also, I just want to point this out because our buddy Jake on Facebook page had posted about it, and I know I've said it many, many times. But those Winnipeg Jets, by the way, not looking too good, and they may be blowing things up. They didn't get old Trotz, you know. Dubois, not happy. Shifley, not happy. Wheeler, you know who plays goalie over there? I don't know.
Yeah, but you just what do you have to give up to get Hellebuck? And he's also, how old is he? 30, 32?
He's 30.
So
I think I'm bringing him up right now. I had him up earlier. Yeah, I think he's 30. But he's got 2 years left on a UFA.
On his contract.
He's 2 years left till he's a UFA. He's got 2 years left on his contract.
Yes. They're going to be blowing things up there. He's 29?
He just turned 29. He just turned 29 in May. So that's not terrible. So he's got 2 years left on his contract. You could easily do that. What's his hit?
It's a big hit.
Mil.
I think he's 6.
It's a big hit. It's 6 mil. 6.1.
We could take it. We could handle it. It's really not.
We can absolutely handle it.
And it's only 2 years too. And then you give time for, you know, Dawes and Schmidt to maybe develop, or someone else in the system as well. Mm-hmm. But it actually gives you some quality goaltending for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
If they blow it up, I know I'm all about that. Maybe you wouldn't have to give away a Jesper Bratt in that situation either. You know, maybe you
Yeah,
can. Maybe
if
it's
they're
someone
doing a
like a
fire
Nolan
sale.
Foote. Yeah, maybe it's someone like a Nolan Foote or with a Kevin Ball or something like that you might have to, you know, give away to get something back. But that would definitely be something over there. Thank you, Jake, for pointing it out, because I know I've been talking about Hellebuck for months now. So
You have been. Yeah,
appreciate that, Jake. Boom. But
wouldn't-
no, that's another
I
situation though.
wouldn't give up the
To
second overall for Hellebuck.
no,
By any means, I
No.
wouldn't give up the second overall for Hellebuck. However,
no, but
if
we
they're
do
willing to
have
have
those
a-
prospects.
we do have prospects, and if they're willing to have a conversation and they decide to have a fire sale up there in Winnipeg,
Mm-hmm.
it might be a good situation.
That
And
could
then
work
Scotty
out.
will get his long-term wish.
Well, for 2 years. But we'll actually have a Devils goaltender with the name
it's-
Hell in it, which I'm
That
all
I
for.
know.
Ooh, marketing.
Uh-huh.
Scotty.
Oh, I'm always thinking. I'm
Oh.
always thinking like that. Well, come on.
The
Come
Devils
on.
would
Gotta
never
make the big bucks.
The Devils would never market that properly.
I know.
They would never market that properly.
Nope.
That's what I have to do. We have to do it here on the Let's Go Devils podcast.
Oh, so it
OnlyFans
actually gets
site.
done?
So you have to pay
Yeah.
for it.
What was that Patreon? What was that old? Go to
Yeah,
my
Patreon.
Patreon account, something like that.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's still
we still have
around.
those.
That's still around.
That's
You want to
still
hear
around.
me
Yep.
curse? You can go to the Patreon.
No, that's just if you want to pay me money for what I do. That's all that is,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, there you go. Why get it for free when you can get it for free?
You know what we should do?
Yeah.
I should redo these name tags, and they should have our Venmo, where people can.
People can request money
They
from
can-
you nonstop.
Yeah, they can send us Doge.
Doge.
You get like half a penny or something like that. I don't even know you could break that in half. Oh, there you go. Here's half a cent.
Yeah. Half of a cent.
But no, but those Winnipeg, you know, the reporters and, you know, all the podcasts and stuff. That's what they're talking over there. Maurice left. That was unexpected, you know, midway through the season there.
Yeah.
Now he's in Florida.
Yeah.
Now he's in Florida. Yeah. That's a nice job to take over there.
Oh
Oof.
yeah.
That's going to be a hot team again next year. But solid goaltending, it's what the Devils need. You know, yeah, they
big time.
weren't. I got to look actually. Where were they? I just want to see the old totals here.
I'd like the Devils to also rebuild their third line. You know, very inconsistent last season. That third line. I mean, we had high hopes for Andre Johnson.
Yes, didn't work out.
Yeah, too streaky.
Are you looking for team stats?
I'm looking for team stats for how many goals the Devils scored this total year, and where they stood, but I can't seem to find it. But I know the goals against was pretty terrible, but our goals for wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
Let's see.
I think they were middle of the pack in the league.
By the way, can we give an appreciation for Ryan Novinsky, the new beat reporter for the Devils, and how much I appreciate him on an everyday basis on Twitter, like breaking real stories, actually having real content. I'm sorry, I'm like totally like jumping the rails and going into a different conversation, but I was just looking at.
No.
I was trying to look up something, and I jumped on Twitter, and he has this article about ex-Devils captain Bryce Salvador has aspirations for front office, and it's just like this dude has amazing content and no pictures of his shoes ever, which is incredible. I don't know what to think when I can't see a picture of his shoes, but I will say this: like every article is like it's filled with so much so much knowledge, and there's a lot of things. I don't know. Sorry, I had to throw my
I
appreciation
have
for
nothing.
him out
I
there.
have no problems with those shoe pictures.
I like. I just like having. I like having a beat reporter that's not paid by the team that he's.
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah,
problem.
I like being able to read news articles about the team.
Yeah,
it's nice.
I have a problem with someone reporting on the team who's also getting a paycheck from the team. So it's going to be softball softball lobs of questions, and nothing really hard hitting. Because one of the things from this past season was I was coming home from a hockey game, and I just happened to have the NHL Network on the radio, and it was a post-game presser in Montreal right before their head coach got fired. And I'm listening to the questions by the reporters up there, and they were actual questions, like questioning what was going wrong, like what are you gonna do, like legitimate questions, not just like, are you happy with the game today? No, like actual, like questions
happy
with substance. Forcing this guy to have to give an answer, forcing their old coach to actually think about giving a solid answer.
Shorts guy, the Devils would never allow us.
You're talking about accountability. Accountability.
Yes,
you have somebody keeping him accountable.
And it just sounded so, to me, it was like so great to hear. Like, holy crap. Here we have a media market that actually wants to hold someone's feet to the fire and try to get something out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that we have
imagine if we were allowed to ask questions.
Man, boy.
It would be like the caddies going. It would be like the caddies going to the pool in Caddyshack if they let us into the restaurant.
Hey, Lindy, I got a question for you. What the hell were you thinking? What are you dumb? Are you dumb in the head? What are you thinking on that? Why would you do that? What are you, stupid? That would be a lot of that.
Yeah,
like,
I could always see us getting the invite back after that.
Well,
he called me a moron like 8 times in a row. I'm not letting him back in a room.
Larry, you know what? Larry Brooks kept getting the invite back after his questions to.
You're gonna turn Lindy into Tortorella.
Yeah, it would be great. Yeah. It would be great. Great ratings for the network.
I would ask Lindy Ruff. I'd be like, that penalty that the other team got. Were you thinking of challenging that so you didn't have to go on the power play?
Yeah. Last year. We don't even know if he's our coach still, so I don't even know what to tell you.
No, we know he's our coach. I don't know what you're talking about. He's definitely our coach. So
yeah.
Ryan from the NJ.com Star Ledger, he's doing a pretty good job. We had him on State of the Fan Address a few weeks ago, and he's been just tearing it up. Absolutely tearing it up.
Absolutely killing it. Real content.
I've seen his articles. Yeah, it is. It's real content, and it's like stuff. It's like back in the day, like when you actually have a beat reporter following them and putting out, the the news articles that you can read. It's it's fantastic. It is really good stuff. It's not
so
fluff.
We had I know we had Andrew Gross for a little bit, but we haven't really had a very good beat reporter since Tom Galletti left. So, and that's basically a long time at this point.
Well, we haven't had somebody as dedicated. We've had some like good writers that would write things about the team, but it just never felt like this. Like Tom Galletti with the Fire and Ice blog was
a daily,
amazing.
Fire and Ice blog was
I think
one of my daily sites to go to.
Yep.
I think Ryan actually cares about the team. Like when Abby Mastracco came out of nowhere, she's a great reporter, but it's not really. She's from the West Coast. It's like Amanda Stein. It's like from Montreal. It's not no fault to their own, but it's you have to have some
skin
kind
in the
of connection
game
with the team. Yeah, it's this is why I write those blogs, because it's try to bring a different perspective, not the same old crap, softball questions, but you want fans to see another angle to look at. And and I hope we do have a Larry Brooks type in that locker room next season, asking hard questions, because I want to see Lindy, face some heat.
Put his feet to the fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a good thing. I think it'll help their team improve. That's why. And I like
Mhm.
Lindy Ruff too.
Yeah, and
I say
what
that.
what it does too as well is the fans have all these questions that they would love to hear asked, and they get tired of the same script after every single game. They get tired of the same surface level questions. The fans want answers. Like, why does this team suck? Obviously going to be asked in a much more professional manner, but the fans want to hear those questions be asked. So it's definitely a good thing.
Sometimes I wish we can ask on Devils After Dark that we the only person that we've ever really videoed in was David Blitzer. Several times. He gave
Several times, yes.
He gave his time, yeah. He told stop the helicopter. I got to do this.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, final thoughts, gentlemen, on this goaltending situation?
All right, I'll go first.
Or anything in general?
Final thoughts on the goaltending situation is I hope it gets figured out. That's it, short and simple. But final thoughts on everything in general. I actually do hope that the Avalanche win the cup tonight so we can get this damn off season going. And I can't believe we have to wait until July. What the hell is it? 12th or something like that for
13th?
free agency.
13th, I think, this year. Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Free agency is. I always look forward to it on July 1st. Now I'm going to wait like an extra 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, no longer on Canada Day.
Ugh, terrible. Terrible. Hopefully they fix that.
What are Canadians going to do on Canada Day?
I know, right? Seriously. All right, so that's it. That's all I got left in this thing.
Shorts guy?
On the Devils goaltending, I have no idea what they are going to do. And your guess is as good as mine. I have no insight other than that.
Scotty?
Don't rush it, Fitzy. You've had some problems already. Don't rush it. Make sure you have the right decision. You have the right person, whether it is a trade, whether it is a free agent signing, whether it's staying put and, bringing Dawes back up or something like that. I'm not sure if that's the right answer right now, but, just make sure you are making the correct choice this time, because strike one and strike two the past 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not have a strike three.
My thoughts, I have a lot of thoughts. Don't force it. Just let the goaltending happen. I still believe in Nico Dawes, but it's not Nico Dawes' time next season. What do you do with Jonathan Bernier?
Long-term injured reserve.
Yeah. Or do you flip him to Arizona so they can meet the cap floor?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I got a plug. We didn't really talk too much about it. July 7th, NHL Draft. I have us tentatively scheduled at Enzo's Pasta Grill, where we did it last season.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday night. Dino's like, come on back. Because I know that the Devils are doing something down, where is it? Stone Pony?
Asbury.
Stone Pony.
Yeah.
Asbury,
Yeah.
Which is very interesting that they're doing that off-site, but go on.
And I figured, if we keep it Northwest Jersey, North Jersey, with gas prices being high, it being in the middle of the week, there's another location. We'll be there with the Hockey on Tap guys. We'll have more information coming up this week as we do the live draft and working on a player possibly to show up, but former player, just to spice things up. Enzo's Pasta Grill, Route 57 in beautiful Hackettstown, New Jersey, in the Mansfield section of Hackettstown. That's it. I'm gonna gotta find the music here. Whoops.
We've only done this podcast a lot of times.
Yeah. It would help if I hit play. There we go.
Right?
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you all for tuning in. State of the Fan address, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday. Watch out for the Woo Reports. I'm going to start blogging again after my month and a half hiatus. Maybe I'll bring up some issues. Maybe I'll break some stories. Maybe I'll make up some rumors and cause a hysteria on the internet. Who knows? Keep it here. Till next time, let's go Devils.